after him. Hardy Nickerson is coming to the middle. Scott Mitchell is not ready. He throws the ball. You cannot turn the ball over. Anthony Parker comes up with the interception, and that's one of the things that I said going into this game. You cannot turn the ball over, especially when you're on the road. You got to protect it, and Howard, you know that's a momentum changer when you get the interception.
Yeah, and the thing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers done effectively is they are diverse in their offense. 17 rushes versus 6-7 rushes for the Detroit Lions. Here, a play fake to Allstott out in the flat, picks up the first down here. Big first down. This is the type of play right here. This is vintage Allstott. Pound the ball, missed tackle. He's a big, burly fullback, likes to run the ball. I say he's got rocks in his head, and I mean that in the best possible way. He's a tough son of a gun. This is a guy that can change and open up your passing game.
Here's a guy that's really done well first half. Trent Dilford, injured right ankle. Ronnie, not sure if he's throwing the ball right. Not sure if he could set up last week. Scrambled to the left, but he could cut back inside with his left foot. Look at this. Scrambling to the right on the run. Guns it down to Carl Williams. That led to a drop touchdown pass by Harris, a field goal by Husted. But in this first half, it's a battle of young quarterbacks in playoff games. And Dilford with 125 yards. Mitchell with 33. Barry Sanders, don't forget, at the end of the third quarter last week, 23 yards rushing, and exploded for 161 yards after that.
Why did you smile when Howie said rocks in his head?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little
That's good.
He looked at me when he said it.
That's good.
All right, folks, when we come back, we'll talk about New England's mastery of Miami. They up into the Dolphins. We'll show you and tell you why when we come back.
The big city is a wonderful place, if you can afford the hotel minibar.
I think I need one of those $8 beers.
King of the Hill, tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
In the battle of the sexes, there is a new warrior. Ask Harriet. Series preview next Sunday on Fox.
I'll be stacked.
The metal is funny, you know. It has its own personality. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? You had to study it and fit it and figure it out, you know. What's bigger than Super Bowl, tell me? Millions and millions of people watch it, right? That's the biggest thing of my life. After it's polished up, the trophy, right? We didn't even breathe on it. That's got to be perfect. I tell you, you know what I'm always afraid of? When they all hold it and everything. I said, gee, don't drop it, please. Look at me. See? Get goosebumps. What a feeling, I tell you.
So, on behalf of the NFL and all of its players, congratulations. And remember, like you taught us, no question is a bad question.
I have a question, Steve. Why is it called football?
And why do they call him a running back if he's always running forward?
Steve, what makes special teams so special?
Steve. Good questions are just one reason why Carolyn Barrett is being honored by the NFL and her former student, Robert Porcher.
Why do they give a 2-minute warning with a half-hour left?
On January 18th, a classic NHL event becomes a world war as the NHL on Fox returns with the 48th All-Star Game. In an Olympic preview, Canada's Gretzky and America's Hull unite to lead Team North America against the rest of the world. World War III will be fought on ice. Coverage begins Sunday, January 18th at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Check local listings.
Fox Sports has a long tradition of innovation. You can see that same spirit in every Fox Sports News show.
It's about trying something new, something different.
It's to take you closer to the story than ever before.
About that third down call.
At least that's the plan.
Fox Sports News at 10 on your Fox Sports Net channel.
In Foxborough today, Terry.
Interception, Drew Bledsoe. Troy Brown, corner, great catch, both feet down. New England up by 7. Marino has this ball back, picked off. Who's there? Todd Collins, 40 yards later. Another touchdown, New England up 14-0. 3 interceptions in the 2 games this year between the Dolphins, Marino, and New England. All 3 interceptions have been returned for touchdowns. There you have it, 17-3. Patriots over Miami.
So with that victory, the New England Patriots will move on to play next Saturday at Pittsburgh in the divisional playoff contest. And folks, after today's game, our own Eric Clemens caught up with Todd Collins after the game.
You have the Dolphins and Dan Marino's number. I mean, 3 meetings, 6 picks, 3 of them returned for touchdowns. What's the deal here?
Yeah, I don't think there's any magic thing. I think it's
I mean, it's just guys just busting their butt, and, you know, you get good calls, and, you know, the coaches put you in a position to make plays, and you still have to make them, and I think a lot of guys have made them. And today, you know, it was incredible. There was a bunch of big plays in this, you know, defensively, guys making, you know, I think everybody about had a big play in the game defensively.
You stepped up and made one. An audible, he's calling, you step out and flat and get the interception and score. Talk about that play.
You know, he just threw the ball and hit me in the hands, and, you know, still have to catch it. And then it's the surprise of having to catch nobody in front of you and then hope you can just outrun everybody. I think I've slowed down quite a bit over the years, and I was just hoping to get there before everybody caught me. But, yeah, it was just a, you know, he did audible and check off, and, you know, it's just getting in the right place at the right time and then just, you know, following through and making the plays.
Todd, congratulations. Yeah. Good luck to the Patriots next week in Pittsburgh. Todd Collins returned an interception for a touchdown. Now let's go back to Tampa and the guys. Guys?
All right, Eric, thank you very much. And that loss by Jimmy Johnson snapped a 6-game losing streak, winning streak that is, in the playoffs for Jimmy Johnson. Tampa Bay second half.
Second half, Tampa, don't change a thing. Tony Dungy coming into this game said, I'll play more zone. You play zone to stop the run. Why? All 11 defenders are looking into the backfield. They're looking at Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, though, could erupt second half.
Barry Sanders defies any defense that you put up. Give this guy an opportunity to compete. Your best player, get the ball in his hands.
Keep the woo hits. Keep the woo hits coming, Tampa Bay, because that's the only way you're going to win this football game. You got to stay after him defensively.
Yeah, you need you know what? Glenn Milburn, the special teams guy, having a big half. Second half, he could bust one. That seems to be the best thing so far the Lions have done.
All right, speaking of the second half, we will rejoin Pat Summerall and John Madden with the second half of this wild card game after this.
You're watching the NFC Wild Card Playoff on Fox.
On the next Pensacola Wings of Gold, Lieutenant Lindstrom gets hijacked by terrorists.
We don't leave our wounded behind.
Tracer gets pursued by another woman.
Once I'm locked onto a target, it's pretty hard to shake me off.
And Wendell gets reunited with his son. On the next Pensacola Wings of Gold.
Wednesday night at 10, 9 Central.
When it's time for a change.
Sun-kissed California pistachios. Football shape, much better taste. Look for them in the produce section. Sun-kissed California pistachios, the football nut.
New Steamback Ultra from Hoover has 5 rotating brushes for professional results, plus 2 more on its exclusive powered hand tool. New Steamback Ultra, only from Hoover.
Berkline puts comfort into your active lifestyle with quality crafted reclining furniture. There's a Berkline recliner that's just right for you.
When it comes to getting in shape, the things we do to our bodies, we jar our joints and impact our bodies in ways that can wear us out, aging us before our time. Now, Nordic Track introduces the new Ellipse, the fitness breakthrough that pioneers the use of elliptical motion for a superior total body workout with virtually no impact. And that makes it better for your body. If suspended in air, the human body would naturally move in a non-jarring elliptical path. The Ellipse simulates this motion, virtually eliminating harmful impact, while treadmills cut the motion short, causing impact to your body. With all these features, Ellipse keeps you motivated, so you'll see results. The Ellipse Total Body Exerciser does it all in a fun and easy motion. Call now for your free video and brochure. Ellipse can be yours for just $24.95 a month. Order by January 31st and pay no interest, no payments for 90 days. Hurry, offer ends soon. Call now. The new Nordic Track Ellipse. It's the shape that's better for your body.
This first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. Trent Dilfer. Pass looked incomplete. Looked complete. And it is complete.
Robert Bailey didn't even see that. It came off Riddell Anthony, hit Robert Bailey right in the face, bounced off his face, back into Riddell Anthony's hands.
First half statistics, all Tampa Bay. They lead it 13-0.
Look at that. I mean, rushing yardage. The Lions only have 19 yards, 33 yards passing. But here's the big thing. I mean, they only had the ball for 9 minutes, 19 seconds. The Buccaneers had it for over 20 minutes. And that's a big thing. So you can say, you know, why didn't Detroit do this? Why didn't they do that? well, they didn't have the ball enough to really establish anything.
Big stars or big producers haven't really produced much, have they?
No, first half, you know, at 33 yards, 1 interception. Barry Sanders only has Moore, who was the leading receiver in the NFC and tied for the leading receiver in the whole NFL, had no catches. And then look what Tampa Bay did in their running game. They run right at him. I mean, they times right up the middle for 63 yards.
And it's been Allstott and Warwick done. The Buccaneers will kick off to start the second half. Barry Sanders very quiet. Glenn Milburn back deep to receive and return to kickoff. Houston's kick is going to be brought from the goal line by Milburn. And he is cut down at about the 20. And let's again send you down to sideline and Ron Pitts.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. Talked to both coaches going off at halftime. Bobby Ross said, we have got to get our big play people involved in this game. He mentioned specifically Herman Moore. I asked him more carries for Barry Sanders in the second half. He said it again. We just got to get our big play people involved. On the other side of the ball, Tony Dungy, he said, I like the way the game's going, but we got to make sure we play great run defense and not have the stupid turnovers.
All right, Ron, thank you. And that's exactly what John Madden's been saying. The big play people haven't gotten involved. This is Barry Sanders. He gets a couple of yards. That Tampa Bay defense has done an excellent job in controlled pursuit.
You know, and watch Warren Sapp here. That's the guy that Bobby Ross says that he challenged his guards and said that's the guy we have to control. But it's hard to block down, have your tackle block down and run away from him, because unless that tackle cuts him, there's no way you're going to stop Warren Sapp from pursuing.
Buccaneers haven't lost when they led at the half. Here's Mitchell back to throw. Gets it outside to Sanders. Bad throw.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Mitchell's had a whole bunch of bad throws today. He looks like he's never got out of the pregame warm-up. I mean, he looks like he's never gotten in sync, and we've seen him over the years. We've seen him sometimes when he's real bad, and we've also seen Scott Mitchell when he can get real hot.
Right now, he needs to get real hot.
Look who covered Barry Sanders on that last play, Pat. It's Warren Sapp. He starts out there, and then he feels Barry Sanders coming out there, and he sees Scott Mitchell look and throw to him, and he's right down the line. They are really keying on Barry Sanders.
3rd and 10. Sanders is the deep back. Mitchell to throw it. Incomplete. And there is no penalty flag down. Morton was the intended receiver. Good defense played by the Bucs.
And again, Scott Mitchell is in there and throwing when he doesn't want to. Here's that timing pass. It's a little slant. The ball's in there. It's pretty good coverage, but maybe a little bump early by Floyd Young.
John Jett back to punt. Back deep is Warwick Dunn for Tampa Bay. The winner of this game goes to Lambeau to play Green Bay. Jets kicks a short one. Dunn's going to have to let it bounce, and it bounces out of bounds. Then the Bucs will take over in pretty good shape. They lead 13-0.
I prefer them up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
All right. Let's go.
Down.
Hey, mister. Hey, buddy. Sir? Mister. Hey, buddy. Yo. Hey, buddy. We just ran this Visa card through, and they said you're over your limit.
What?
Oh, nah.
Hey, you know what I said? I was so close!
Sir! Sir!
I'm not gonna let go.
Please! It's my first day!
Visa puts limits on its customers.
It's not fair!
For Pete's sake!
But with American Express, you can always do more.
She's not real!
This Fox NFC Wildcard Playoff is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By 1-800-COLLECT. It's the way we call collect today. And by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
Buccaneers first down, 1st and 10 at their own 46. They lead 13-0. This is Allstott, beg your pardon. And he bangs away into Detroit territory. All the Detroit players are wearing the number 59 on their helmet. Some of them have it on their armbands, their wristbands as well. Reggie Brown.
Yeah, you can see right here, there's Johnny Morton. He has 59 on his arm there. And as you said earlier, and Bobby Ross says, there's two things that they're doing for Reggie Brown. Is one, they want to obviously pray for him, and that's the most important thing. The second thing is play for him.
Warrick Dunn gets a Buccaneer first down. They run straight ahead. Reggie Brown, who was injured last week, perhaps the best athlete in the entire Detroit defense. And should he be watching? Right now the result is not the way you'd like to see it go, but we send our best. And we too pray for it. Reggie Brown. 13-0. 1st and 10. Flag on the play as Warrick Dunn ducks under tacklers. Picked up perhaps a yard.
Yeah, you look at the officials here in today's game, Pat, and this is an all-star crew. All year, you know, they have regular crews work together. When they get into the playoffs, they have to earn the right to do a playoff.
Offside on the defense, number 95, 5-yard penalty. First down, 5 yards.
Offsides on the defense. Today's officials.
Yeah, Mike Carey is a referee, and then, you know, the umpire and the headlines, and it goes on. This is a group that hasn't worked together before, and again, they're the ones that grade out the best, that get to do the wild card games and the playoff games and the championship game. Now, it is possible that someone from this group could also be in the Super Bowl.
1st and 5. Dilfer. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony. Kevin Abrams cut in front.
He really did. Kevin Abrams, he's a rookie. He hasn't been starting all year, but he's a gutsy guy.
Yep.
And he's back here like he's playing off. And watch, he's gonna jump this thing because he's looking in and he's watching Dilfer. And when he sees Dilfer set up, he gets a jump on that ball. Now, if that ball hadn't been tipped, I don't know that Kevin Abrams doesn't intercept this ball.
And if he intercepts and it was tipped.
See, because he was watching all the way. He was watching Dilfer all the way. He was going to jump that thing.
2nd and 5. Dilfer trying to get everybody set. The clock's running down to 4 seconds. And Dilfer gets the ball up to Horace Copeland, and that should be enough for a Buck first down. It's very close.
It was a heck of a play by Trent Dilfer to get that snap off, because he was trying to get Warrick Dunn lined up out here, and Warrick Dunn never did get set. And he was telling him something, you know, out here as a wide receiver, and he finally got him settled down, and then he went the other way. But here's Warrick Dunn out here. You see, he's looking, he's talking to him, he's telling him where to go. Dunn's going back and forth, so Dilfer has to do all that before he does this, and he doesn't even look at Warrick Dunn on the pass play.
They do get a first down at the Detroit 31. 1st and 10. The Bucs lead it 13-0. Dilfer's going to throw it on first down and going deep for a bunch. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony. Covered by Abrams.
Well, that's a rookie against a rookie. Riddell Anthony, a #1 draft choice. Kevin Abrams, a #2 draft choice. The Detroit Lions. He's out of Syracuse. He's playing off And now you see it was a little stop and go. He did a little hook and go. Abrams started to go for that hook, but then he reacted quickly to the go.
Good recovery.
And they both ran into the bunting. And it's nice to see bunting here at a game. I mean, this is what we didn't have for years in the National Football League. We have to celebrate our playoffs.
And we're in the playoffs with the Buccaneers leading 13-0. And the handoff is to Allstott, and he's got another Tampa Bay first down. He's got a touchdown. Mike Allstott shedding tacklers. Puts the Buccaneers further ahead.
They pounded on him, and they pounded at him, and they pounded at him, and they finally broke him down. But just again, we see Hape in there with the lead, and Allstott just runs right through everything. These runners, Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott, they're a great 1-2 punch.
And as you said, they just wore him down. Houston for the extra point. Walsh holding. Tampa Bay 20. Detroit nothing.
He gets a lead block there by Dave Moore. Good blocking by his line, and he just runs like a runaway freight train.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. From our family to yours, we wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
Jim Harbaugh and Jay Lewinberg for 1-800-COLLECT.
Jim, next time you call me collect, call me 1-800-COLLECT. Jay, give it a rest. No, 1-800-COLLECT is 10 cents a minute every evening all week long. Yeah? Are we gonna practice or what?
You should have used 1-800-COLLECT!
Think Jim's learned his lesson? One more play ought to do it. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening all week long.
The tallest mountain in North America is 20,320 feet. Cool.
Who rules the ice?
The women
or the men? Men are gonna win.
It's champion against champion.
On an all-new special, The Battle of the Sexes on Ice 2, Friday at 8/7 Central.
Buccaneers set to kick off. They lead 20-0. It's Kenny Gant. Remember him when his days with the Cowboys, the Shark on special teams.
The old Shark, and he always does that. He goes way back into the end zone and starts to fire up the whole crowd before he finally starts down in the kickoff coverage.
Milburn about a yard deep in the end zone. Bucs stop him shy of the 20 at about the 18. Belisari down to make the stop.
Yeah, let's watch the blocking on a touchdown. Here's Frank Middleton. He's going to get a good block here. But watch Dave Moore. He's the tight end. See, he lines up here. He's in the backfield, and he's going to come and make a heck of a lead block right there for Mike Allstott. Watch the first one. Middleton, he gets that. Now watch Moore right there. You see that block right there? That's the one that springs Mike Allstott. Good start by Middleton. Good finish by Moore. A pretty good run by Allstott.
By the time
that's what it's all about, isn't it?
By the time he gathered a head of steam and got to the safety men, they had no chance. Herman Moore from Mitchell. Moore's first catch. There's the bunting.
Well, that's what we needed for a long time. What the heck is that?
That's bunting.
How in the heck did that?
What are you running for?
I don't know. Up jumped ugly. Who spread that? Okay, that's enough of that. You know, I have no idea where that came, but I've always said that We ought to have bunting at our openings, and we ought to have bunting at our playoffs.
Madden bunting. Blitz coming. Sanders coming. And Barry Sanders steps away from a couple of tacklers, his best run of the day.
Yeah, did you see that block by Herman Moore? Anytime you get a good run by a running back, you're going to get a good block by a wide receiver. And Herman Moore is one of the best blocking wide receivers in the running game that there is in the league. I mean, he catches his 104 passes, but he also, when Barry Sanders runs, Herman Moore is a blocker.
And the Lions at midfield at 45, beg your pardon, not quite to midfield, but they will be soon. Sanders runs out of bounds at about the 44-yard line of Tampa Bay. You can't relax.
It's just a matter of time. You just wonder if they have enough time being down 20-0.
Lions have a player down. I believe that's Sloan. 20-0.
I'm the road to Canterbury. Hello, dear. Thank you. Of course, you Americans hate the rain. Oh, it's too wet and scary. Mommy won't let me come out and play.
The road is cold, and the 1998 ES 300 with front-wheel drive and available traction control will help you answer it.
Not bad, but you're on the wrong side of the road.
Freedom on the Field, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to fly. The most beautiful aspect of the game of football is the unexpected. A score can result from a picture-perfect pass or an ugly fumble. Points aren't rewarded for style. Points are rewarded for tenacity, creativity, and often for the way the ball bounces.
Pick the ball! It's a touchdown, Dolphins!
Somebody had the idea of hanging hubcaps from the ceiling, and we thought, hey, why not? Mexican food is fun. We thought the restaurant should be fun too. We only open Chewy's in cities where Southwest Airlines flies. The fares are low, so we can afford to go back and forth.
From Chewy's to Chewy's to Chewy's.
And if you're interested, hubcaps do fit in the overhead bin.
You are now free to move about the country.
If most TV lawyers remind you of this, catch the Golden Globe nominee for Best New Comedy.
To Ally.
Ally McBeal, 2 full hours, Monday at 8/7 Central.
That's Robert Porcher having the cleats changed.
You know, this is a heavy field, and I think that Porcher and the other rushers are having a little trouble with their footing, so they're going to a longer cleat.
Mitchell fakes to Sanders. He's chased and throws it away. Metzelaars was the nearest Lion.
Reagan Upshaw got up the field on Mitchell that time, and he was watching Upshaw, and that's why he threw that thing away. But look at Barry Sanders here. His first 7 rushes, 15 yards, then the last 2, 26 yards. You know, one of the ways to stop Barry Sanders, too, is to get so far ahead that the Lions just go away from the run. I mean, over the years, that's a way to do it, where running doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense anymore.
A Tampa Bay timeout. They lead 20-0.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2-day packages from FedEx for an extra $10.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2 to 3-day packages from Priority Mail for no extra charge.
On Saturdays, your customers cannot receive 2-day packages from UPS. Sorry.
So, for the holidays, what's your priority? Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Thus saith the Lord, with the raging flood,
We just want the money!
he makes an end of those who oppose him.
$3 million.
And he pursues his enemies into darkness.
On January 16th, prepare for Hard Rain. Hard Rain, rated R.
Starts Friday, January 16th in theaters everywhere.
crystal water turns to dark, where'er its presence leaves its mark, and boiling currents pound like drums when something wicked this way comes. Introducing the faster, sleeker, meaner GS Motor Trend Import Car of the Year.
Our overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. It was 1960 when the Goodyear Blimps first began to cover live sports. Right here in Florida at the Orange Bowl. Good view today.
Did you see that view? They saw, the stadium here they're playing, and then right next door is the new stadium they're building where they're going to play next year.
Mitchell gives to Sanders. Sanders picks up a couple.
One thing the Lions have done is they've gone to 3 wide receivers, and they've gotten the Buccaneers to play a nickel defense.
Here's
that. Yeah, here it is right here. That's a new one, and it's you can see that it's right next door. Here's the one we're playing today. Here's the one they'll play next year. And that's going to be a beautiful place. I mean,
they've gotten it up in a hurry.
Yeah, they got all their height on it already.
3rd and 5. Mitchell with Sanders deep. Boyd in motion. Mitchell is going to take off with it, and he's got some room to run. Scott Mitchell slides at the 25 and slides down to about the 24.
I was saying on the play before that it looks like what Detroit's trying to do now is spread out this Buccaneer defense and maybe get them into playing a nickel defense the whole game, and then maybe that'll be a little easier for Barry Sanders to run too, because by going 3 wide receivers as they're doing here, that means that Tampa Bay is going 5 defensive backs, so they have 1 less linebacker in there.
On first down, the blitz coming, and Mitchell fires in time for Johnny Morton. Good throw. Buccaneers blitzing from his blind side. This game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Total yards, Detroit 108, Tampa Bay 246. The time of possession heavily weighed in Tampa Bay's direction, 23-32 to 12-50. The winner plays at Green Bay next Sunday. 1st and 10, Detroit at the Tampa Bay 15. Mitchell to David Sloan, and Sloan gets to the 5. It'll be 1st and goal from there.
Looked like Sloan had hurt his shoulder. Remember, he was down there for a while. We saw him blocking, and then he just bent over, and then he went out for a play or two. Then he came back in, and you watch Scott Mitchell here. He's looking for Sloan all the way. Sloan just steps in front and picks that thing right out of the air.
2nd and 1. Sanders deep. Sanders caught behind the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, this Buccaneer defense has done a heck of a job on Barry Sanders. I mean, they know. I'm not saying they're going to be perfect in all areas, but watch these guys all surround Barry Sanders and not give him a place to go that way, a place to cut back this way, or a place to go to right, left, middle, anywhere.
They got him surrounded.
There's no place for him to go. And then a rule, if you go down, don't stay down. Watch how they go down, and they all bounce up. The only guy that didn't was old Culpepper. He stayed down, didn't he?
3rd and 4. Mitchell rolls, and he's got some room to run if he decides. Out of bounds.
Ooh, he didn't
I don't know.
He didn't go for the 1st down on that, and the marker is right there. I think in a situation like this, you have to go all out on every situation. Here it is, Herman Moore. He's trying to hit Herman Moore. It looked like he could have led him to the corner. Now he starts to run, and it's too late. I don't know that he couldn't have cut that thing back and got a few more yards.
As it is, they have about 3 yards for a 1st down.
See the world run. Run, world, run. Run. See Texaco run. Visualize, hypothesize, explore, and relentlessly search and find the energy the world needs to run. Run, world, run. Texaco, a world of energy.
It's the way the sun helps things grow in their own time. It's the way bread begins as an ocean of wheat before rising in the oven. The way onions can make you cry, even when you're laughing. And it's the way we make over 1 million people their favorite sandwich every day, which, in case you're keeping track, is more sandwiches than the entire population of North Dakota. Subway. It's the way a sandwich should be.
Flight 57 now boarding.
Hey, Junior, we don't want to miss our curtain. I hope you've got Hertz #1 Club Gold.
Well, not exactly, but this company's fast. Oh, sure.
Can't we skip the rental counter like it hurts?
Well, not exactly. Duh.
Hey, genius, I'm waterlogged. Doesn't your company have a canopy like Hertz?
Well, not exactly.
Remember, there's Hertz and there's not exactly. Choose the right one.
So you still think I'm the dummy?
Not exactly.
Hey, baby, I'll bet you and I have a lot in common.
Oh, I doubt that.
Ooh, ain't she sweet?
Ask Harriet previews next Sunday on Fox.
The Lions, trailing Tampa Bay 20-0, have 4th down approaching.
You know, years ago, Pat, I learned that the toughest points that you get are always the first ones. And I always believe that you get something, and then you build off that. I think there's 4th and 3. I know they're down 20-0. I think this is a situation where Detroit should kick a field goal.
11th play of the drive upcoming. Mitchell is still on his feet, comes out of there, fires incomplete. He did an amazing job to come out of the trap and get rid of it, but they come away with nothing.
And that's the thing, you know, everyone thinks you go for it on 4th down like you're going to make it all the time, but if you don't make it, as you say, you come away with nothing, and you still haven't broken the glass. You haven't got any points on the board. You still got that shutout, and somewhere you have to break that shutout down first.
Herman Moore had no chance.
Scott Mitchell had no chance. The coverage downfield was excellent. They have 2 receivers in the same area. That's easy to cover. And then at the end, they had 3 receivers in the same area.
So the Bucs take over, 1st and 10, leading 20-0. Dilfer going deep, and he's got a man open and just misses him. Rob Thomas had 2 or 3 steps.
And he should have just run right through that one.
Right now, let's go down to James Brown for McDonald's game break.
Pat, it was a very efficient day for Drew Bledsoe of New England. Take a look as he hooks up with Troy Brown, his only touchdown toss of the day. But again, he made no big mistakes, and New England, the benefactor, New England goes on to play Pittsburgh next week. Back upstairs to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Brad Culpepper over on the sideline in obvious discomfort. 2nd and 10. Dilfer went for a bundle on 1st down. This time he gives to Allstott, and Allstott is hit right at the line of scrimmage and surges ahead for a couple of yards. That's all.
You know, Tony Dungy on the sideline has his son James holding the court. You know, that's a big position now, and there's James right there, and he walks around by his dad. James is going to be 11 years old this next week, but Tony says that for this game, you know, he's pulling out all stops. He said James's record, James isn't even going to look up. He's not going to show us what to look at. He's not even watching his dad. But his record this year is 2-0. So Tony says, but yeah, James is 2-0. So Tony says, I'm pulling out all stops. We got to win this one. James got the job.
Dilfer gets to Dunn this time, and the Bucs will have to punt. James is, if he rises to the occasion, he won't see it.
Well, yeah, I don't know if Tony's dragging James or if James is leading his dad. But James isn't going to watch it. I think that he thinks that if he watches it, maybe something bad will happen.
Landetta. Milburn will retain the kick. The coverage is great. The ball's loose. The Lions pick it up. And down they go. Ryan Stewart picked the ball up. Got back to about the 38-yard line. That was almost real disaster for Detroit.
Bill Byrne here he's waiting for a block, but it looked like he was trying to run a reverse is what he was. I don't know if that was a lateral or a reverse because he waited and waited like he was waiting for a block there. Then I think he was waiting for the reverse to come. And then the ball went out of there, and luckily they got it back. But now you look at this situation here. Had they kicked a field goal, they'd have the ball back now. There's still plenty of time, and it would be 20-3, but they'd have that 3 to build on instead of that big 0 sitting there.
Sanders, the ball carrier, and Barry Sanders gets out the 45. Warren Sapp made the stop. Don't forget, coming up in San Francisco on Saturday, Minnesota, after that stunning upset over the Giants, the win yesterday. That coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific, and then Sunday, the winner of this game against Green Bay at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, coverage begins at 11:30.
So, up in Green Bay, they're all watching this game and deciding who they're going to play, and then the coaches will go to work on them. One thing they know, they've played both these teams twice.
Mitchell just gets rid of the ball, throws it away. He was in the grasp of Culpepper. He wasn't hurt too bad before.
The thing about Culpepper, he's a scrapper. Both of these guys. Here's Brad Culpepper right here, and he's that cocked nose tackle. You see, he just starts to the outside. No one blocks him. They were sliding their line to the right away from Culpepper, and they didn't even block him. Culpepper just ran right by him. That's a combination, isn't it, of Brad Culpepper, nose tackle, who is also a lawyer.
And next to him is Warren Sapp,
who was a dominant player.
Really. There's Mitchell back to throw on 3rd down. Swings it outside, incomplete, intended for Sanders.
Warren Sapp is one of those guys that raise havoc, even when he's doubled. He keeps going there. He lets Scott Mitchell know that he's there. Watch Warren Sapp here. They're going to double team him. You see, he starts and he gets a block there, and then they come over and they just whipped on the double team. But he's letting Scott Mitchell know that when Scott Mitchell throws the ball, number 99 is going to be on him.
Back to punt is Jet. Warwick Dunn back deep. High snap. A fake. Beg your pardon. Jet had such a good fake, I didn't see it. And Rivers wound up with the ball and gets a Detroit 1st down.
Now, Ron Rivers was the fullback, and they snapped it short to the fullback. Watch, here's Rivers right here, and they just snapped the ball there. Now, he just takes off. You see, he gets a block right there, and they pack everyone to the inside. Rivers just takes it to the outside. There's no containment at all, and Rivers sees that he has a 1st down. That's not a bad play. I mean, they had to. You would think that Tampa Bay would really be looking out for that play, though.
What a fake by Jet. He jumped as if the ball went over his head and started chasing it. This is Sanders. He gets a few. Such a good fake. I didn't see it. Goes right to the fullback.
Yeah, you see now, here's Jet. He's going to fake it, but the ball's going here, and he's going to fake like the ball went over his head. But it just
that's what I saw.
Yeah, he jumped up, did a pirouette, and darn near fell down.
2nd and 7. Mitchell back to throw. Has a man, Herman Moore, wide open. Mitchell hit him with a Buccaneer looking right in his face.
This is the thing that Herman Moore is so good at. I mean, he's, he can run patterns. He has great hands, but he's a big target in there. And anytime they have a zone, he can just get in there and sit down. And your quarterback can look, and you can always find that big target in the middle.
1st and 10, Detroit. Handoff to Sanders from behind, and he's hit after he picked up about 3. Again, good pursuit
And the other thing that Herman Moore is good at is in this area here. Once you get in the red zone, which is inside the 20-yard line, of just throwing that ball up in the end zone and let him do a jump ball.
2nd and 7. Line of scrimmage about the 17. Sanders again. And Sanders cut down. Good tackle. Derrick Brooks.
This is great defense by the Buccaneers. They've had him surrounded all day, but I think they got a pretty good feel today. This is not a Barry Sanders running field, but look at this defense, how they just surround him and they maintain their lanes. They stay. The thing that they said they wanted to do was always the first guy take a shot at his outside leg. Then if you miss, at least you funnel him back to the inside.
3rd and 6. Moore comes in motion. Mitchell back to throw. Mitchell's going to take off, and he won't get anywhere near the first down to about the 15. It'll bring up 4th and about 4.
And I would say the same thing here. They have to kick a field goal. I mean, you got to break that 0. You have to break it. And I mean, had they done it, it would be 20-3, and then they kick another one, it's 20-6. But at least they're scoring points. Mitchell went head first on that one. We know that he had bad ribs. He didn't practice 2 weeks ago the whole week. This past week he practiced and he said he felt pretty good, but it looks like they're checking that area again, Pat, where he had it was torn rib cartilage is what it was.
Frank Reich is the backup quarterback for Detroit.
Watch, he's going to get it right at the end. You see, he's running. He's not going to slide. Now, if he slides, he's protected. If he runs head first, they can hit him.
And Culpepper does.
Yep, Culpepper does, and that
Porter, I
looks
think, hit him
where
too.
he got it. But I mean, it looks like maybe that knee right there, Brad Culpepper, is where he got it. Like I said, it was the ribs had really been bothering him a couple weeks ago, and he said they felt pretty good this week. He didn't have a shot or anything.
Right,
thought he was back to normal.
20-0.
We're back at Ericsson Stadium where we're down to the final seconds of the game, and it's still tied. The kick's high. And
Ericsson mobile phones. Catch the excitement.
51 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20. Detroit Lions nothing.
And Detroit is going to kick the field goal here in this situation. They have Jason Hansen is in there now.
Scott Mitchell still down as Coach Bobby Ross looks on.
There's Jason Hansen. He has quite a stance. He goes through a ritual and then he kind of arches his back in his stance before he approaches the ball.
One black shoe, one white shoe.
Yeah, but watch this deal. See, he'll go through it. You see how he gets and puts both feet out? I mean both hands out. That's the stance that he gets in. Both, and then puts his back. What is that for? What do you think that? What do you think?
I have.
You used to be a kicker.
Yeah, but
did you ever get into that look?
No. I wore the same color shoes. Playoff picture: Minnesota beat the Giants. That's the NFC, of course. Detroit and Tampa Bay playing right now, and the winner goes to Green Bay. Starts at 11:30 next Sunday.
Yeah, congratulations to the Minnesota Vikings.
And the playoff picture in the AFC, all clear. New England, Pittsburgh, and Denver goes to Kansas City.
Congratulations to New England and Denver winning their games.
Next Sunday, how far will a man go to get a job in today's world? Find out on a special preview of the outrageous new Fox comedy Ask Harriet. It all happens next Sunday at 8:30, 7:30 Central right here on Fox. Scott Mitchell still down. As you pointed out, he had bad ribs. The week before last, he didn't work at all.
And that was a week that they kept giving him shots. In fact, they gave a shot in that area of the rib cartilage. He went to a specialist at a hospital, a thoracic surgeon. And he said when they gave him the shot in the ribs, he passed out. Had to feed him some orange juice and crackers. But he said this week he didn't have any shots in that area.
There's Pete Metzelaar looking on. He has already announced that this will be his last year as a player in the NFL. Some great years in Buffalo for Pete Metzelaar.
Glory Day. Gonna rose in the cold of Green Bay. Everybody's getting ready for Judgment Day. San Francisco's gonna make a stand. Who's gonna make it to the promised land? Who will survive? Who will save the day? Anything can happen when the best come to play. There's on Fox, oh glory day.
The NFC Divisional Playoffs coverage begins this Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
20-0, Tampa Bay leading Pat Summerall with John Madden. 51 seconds left in the third quarter. Scott Mitchell is still down. And there's Bobby Ross out looking. This, hard to say when it happened or how it happened. He had bad ribs going in.
And we know that the quarterback is protected if he goes feet first. But when he goes head first, there's no protection. In other words, if he would have given up and gone feet first, then they can't touch him. It looked like he tried to get up.
Yeah.
Watch this, Pat. He starts like he's going to take that first step to get up. Then the umpire comes over there and starts waving that timeout. And then Scott Mitchell goes back down again,
Sitting on his foot. And all of a sudden backwards. Again, it looked, as John Madden said, as if he started to get up, got halfway into a crouch, and then fell back and down. As Barry Sanders looks on. This has gotten to be something that the Detroit players have seen too often.
And the emotions that they've been through lately, just something that's been amazing. I mean, last week when Reggie Brown was injured, and they were all out there in the field, and they lived and prayed through that one. And
I think there are more prayers now for Scott Mitchell as the stretcher's being brought out. Again, he appeared to try to get up and go back to the huddle, and then went back down. $20 to nothing.
Tonight, after World's Funniest, something evil is coming.
Burn it! Send it to hell!
That'll have Springfield talking in tongues.
High your heads for the me.
On The Simpsons. Then, the big city is a wonderful place. If you can afford the hotel mini bar.
I think I need one of those $8 beers.
King of the Hill. Then he can control minds.
Mulder, I'm losing you.
And his next victims are Mulder and Scully.
Mulder!
The X-Files. It all starts tonight at 7, 6 Central.
We have no word as yet that in the red hat to the left is the Tampa Bay doctor, the team doctor. And they're still looking down at Scott Mitchell. Bobby Ross has gone back to the sideline. Frank Reich, in the meantime, continues to loosen up.
You know what's going through these players' minds. You know, if you've been there, you start off and it's a game, and and everyone's into the game, and and how big the game is, and then when a player's injured, no one wants to see that, and then you realize that that the game and playing and all those things are secondary. That right now it's how Scott Mitchell is the most important thing on everyone's mind.
And for the Detroit players, there's been far too much of this. Sitting and standing and looking and waiting.
David Sloan there, the tight end, and of course Luther Ellis, number 94.
Perhaps you can see they've gotten Scott Mitchell on the board. Now it looks like when they get everything in order, they'll move him to the stretcher.
That's one thing that they do in the National Football League. I mean, they take every precaution, and they have everything that is needed for any injury that could possibly happen. And you can see that that everything that they're doing now is with caution and precaution.
And no haste.
No, you don't need haste. You don't have to hurry. You just do everything the right way. And that's the tough thing you can see for everyone is the unknown.
There's nothing to say. Again, that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers doctor gesturing. Tony Dungy, who's done such an outstanding job with the Buccaneers.
Tony Dungy was saying that last week when Reggie Brown was injured that that he and his team did what everyone else did. You just prayed that everything was okay.
The eyes tell the story. As soon as we know, you'll know. Robert Porcher.
It's Kevin Glover there, number 53, who has been with the Lions for 13 years, and he's been through a lot of these.
Yes, he has.
You think of the Mike Utley. Think of the
Reggie Brown,
Harry Cullen.
Yeah. the event you might have joined us during the time this happened. Scott Mitchell ran with the ball. Didn't appear to be a vicious hit of any kind. He got to his haunches and then fell back. Mitchell is 6'6". His head stabilized.
And we had talked earlier about how he had rib injury. I thought maybe that it was in the area of the ribs again, but that doesn't look like it was a rib area.
No. We, of course, as soon as we know anything, we'll tell you. We can only pray. Jason Hansen has had a long time to arch his back and loosen up in preparation for this field goal attempt. 33 yards away is Hansen. His team trailing 20-0. And the Lions are on the scoreboard. 20-3. Tampa Bay leads.
I think that was the important thing for Detroit, you know, to get that 0 off the scoreboard, to finally get it, now go to work from there.
Again, next Saturday, Minnesota against San Francisco in San Francisco. The coverage begins 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific. And then on Sunday, either Detroit or Tampa Bay against Green Bay. Coverage begins at 11:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific Time. That scoring drive by the Lions, 10 plays, 46 yards. They kept the ball 4 minutes and 19 seconds. A tough week for Bobby Ross and all the Lion organization. They have taken Scott Mitchell into the Tampa Bay locker room.
You know, and they also did page a doctor that is here attending the game to come down to the field.
So Hansen will kick off. Anthony is deep. He'll handle the kickoff at the 7. Riddell Anthony knocked out of bounds at the 35. The Bucs will take over. 17 seconds left to play in the third quarter.
You know, the guy who's done a good job with this Tampa Bay team is Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, and just, you know, we talk about Tony Dungy being a calm guy. Mike Shula, of course, Don Shula's son, is also a calm guy, and one of the good things for Trent Dilfer. And one of the things that I'm impressed with what Mike Shula does is he takes each player and doesn't ask more of them than they can do, just does what they do best.
That's all set. Flag on the play as he picks up about 6 yards.
I think that's going to be against Detroit, Pat. I think Trent Dilfer got him on that hard count.
I think you're right.
It was Luther Ellis again. I think, you know, he's up there ready to go all the time. Trent Dilfer's doing a good job of mixing up the count and then mixing up his cadence.
Offside on the defense, number 95.
Mike Carey, the referee.
5 yards to go.
Wells was the Lion offside. Tampa Bay coaches upstairs, and we are a long way from the field.
Yeah, and this is Mike Shula that I was talking about right there. Oops, there he was.
Yeah.
The circle of me was gone, but that was Mike Shula again, Don Shula's son, and You know, if he's related to Don Shula and has anything that Don Shula had in him, he's going to be a great coach, because Don Shula was one of the best that ever coached.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score Tampa Bay 20, Detroit 3. This NFC wild card game on Fox will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
The X-Files.
Mulder!
Tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Bucs. On the next Psi Factor, an invisible enemy invades a small town.
The whole village is just standing like statues.
Immobilizing the inhabitants.
They're imprisoned in a moment of time.
Matt Frewer stars.
Pulse is weak.
On Psi Factor, Chronicles of the Paranormal, hosted by Dan Aykroyd.
Friday night at 10, 9 Central.
Sun-kissed California pistachios. Football shape, much better taste. Look for them in the produce section. Sun-kissed California pistachios, the football nut.
I had an accident while playing with my children, so I then consulted numerous MDs who said I would eventually end up in a wheelchair. I then went to a chiropractor, and I am now leading a normal and happy life.
Chiropractic is the #1 choice for individuals and families seeking natural health care. More and more people are tired of relying on drugs and surgery. In fact, over 20 million people visit chiropractors regularly. Those people know something others need to know. That is, chiropractic works and is a great health care choice. Chiropractic America gives you the opportunity to find a great chiropractor near where you live or work. Call 1-800-BACS-911. Call now. You'll be glad you did.
Call Chiropractic America now at 800-BACS-911. Chiropractic can change your life. Call now and be connected to the accepted member of Chiropractic America nearest you. Call 800-BACS-911.
74,000 plus on hand. Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead 20-3. They have the ball. 1st and 5. Allstott hit behind the line of scrimmage, struggles to get back.
I think this offensive line has done a good job today. You know, it's not a great offensive line. They've had some injuries. They've had to, bring Diaz in there. He's playing the left guard now. Middleton's been playing the right guard. They moved around, but the job that they did along with the tight ends and the lead blockers of making holes for Allstott and Dunn has been pretty good, and giving Trent Dilfer some time too. Oops. Up jumped the other.
Luther Ellis pointing, and it's going to be up against the Buccaneers.
You know, remember when Big used to be like 280 pounds, 290 pounds? Now Frank Middleton.
Start on the offense, number 73.
Still big.
Penalty, 2nd down.
Yeah, but Frank Middleton's 340 pounds.
Let's quickly go down to Ron Pitts.
All right, Pat, thank you. Right now, you can see the ambulance behind me. They're here to take Scott Mitchell out of the stadium. They brought him into the Bucs locker room. In fact, they're just wheeling him out right now. Now, we can't say for sure exactly what it is. I've talked to some people that were in the locker room with him. A lot of restraint on the head and neck area. That could be the area where the problem is. We don't want to say for sure, though. But as you can see, he is on his way out of the stadium and heading into the ambulance. Pat, let's go back up to you.
All right, Ron. The Detroit official has told us that Scott Mitchell has a concussion. This is Allstott. And Allstott hammers out to about the 44. Mitchell, we're told, is very groggy, has a concussion. And as you just heard from Ron Pitts, they're just taking him out of the locker room to the ambulance.
You know, when you look at Mike Allstott there and you realize, he's 6'1", 245 pounds, you would really think fullback. In fact, he made the Pro Bowl as a fullback, but he's really a running back. I mean, he really runs when he has the ball. He runs more like a tailback than a fullback.
3rd down. Dilfer back to throw. Wheels it outside, incomplete, intended for Anthony. Scott Mitchell's eyes are open and he's moving as he's being placed in the ambulance right now. And the Lions tell us that Mitchell suffered a concussion. Lynn Milburn back deep for Landetta's punt. Milburn, fair catch at the 18, and that's where Detroit will take over with Frank Reich at quarterback.
Data, statistics, the stuff of instruments, gauges, and stopwatches. What if you were to buy a car strictly with your left brain? If that car was the new Mazda 626, your right brain would be handsomely rewarded. The all-new Mazda 626. Retooled, refined, reborn. Lease a 626 LX V6, $239 a month.
For many fans, it is a dream come true. Honey barbecue wings are back at KFC in time for the big game. Bring home 6 wing pieces for $1.99, 20 for $5.99, only at KFC.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind the majority of the world's PCs. By the 21st century, their chip could execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you learn about such fast-thinking companies? NASDAQ. Shaping the new world of investing.
We thought about shaving so you could think about something else. Brawn, smart thinking.
This Fox NFC Wildcard playoff is brought to you by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. Mazda. By Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by the Braun Flex Integral. Braun. Smart thinking.
Detroit ball, 1st and 10 at their own 17. Frank Reich at quarterback. Barry Sanders deep. Tampa Bay leading 20-3. By Morton. 1st down.
This seems to be working pretty well for Detroit is when they go to that 3 wide receivers.
Outside the stadium, of course, the ambulance just departed. Let's go again to Ron Pitts.
All right there, Pat. Yeah, Scott Mitchell just got into the ambulance. His eyes are open. He is conscious, and he was moving his hands, was moving his feet. So that's good news. That's all we have right now, and we'll update you when we know more. Back up to you, Pat.
1st and 10, Detroit. Sanders gets the carry. Chased backwards and dragged down by Derrick Brooks.
That's the thing. The Lions can go 3 wide receivers, and that what that does, that brings in 5 defensive backs for the Buccaneers, and it takes out a linebacker. But the 2 linebackers that stay in there, Brooks and Nickerson, are pretty good. I mean, you know, they have good speed, and they can run as fast as any back. So you get a little plus there when you only have the 2 linebackers you see right here as compared to the 3. But those 2 run pretty well.
They can stay with most tight ends. Sanders. Hit hard by Lynch.
That's the one that Lynch was trying to get. John Lynch talked about that. He said he wanted to get a funnel shot on Barry Sanders, and a funnel shot is when they funnel him right into you. When you have a guy at the end on his right and on his left, right there, and you can come right up the middle. That is a perfect funnel shot.
And Sanders changed directions in a hurry.
And you don't see Barry Sanders get a lot of those.
No.
But watch John Lynch. I mean, he got it square and really unloaded on Barry Sanders.
3rd and 5.
You can play a whole career and not get one of those.
Not a square shot like that. Reich back to throw it. Rush is good, but Morton comes up with a catch and gets across midfield into Buccaneer territory, stopped by Mincy.
Frank Reich stood in there, and then you're going to see Johnny Morton again. against a zone, you just find a hole in the zone, and he finds it right there. Frank Reich just stands up there and watches him, throws it right in the middle. Watch him stand up there and throw that ball. I mean, he stepped right into that thing. But Johnny Morton did a nice job against the zone. You don't run away from a zone. You find holes in zones. You run away from man coverage and in a hole of a zone.
1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 45. Again, right to Sanders. Sanders out of bounds inside the 30. Frank Reich, if you remember back to when he led Buffalo to the biggest comeback in NFL history. Buffalo was down by 32 to Houston, and they won the game behind Frank Reich.
Yeah, Frank Reich has played in some big games.
Yeah.
He's been around long enough and played in enough systems to know how to run a football team in a fourth quarter playoff situation.
Back to throw again. Has a man open. Johnny Morton chased by the Buccaneer defense, out of bounds. Clock will continue to run.
Yeah, I still wonder why they're not getting the ball to Herman Moore. I mean, you know, part of it is Johnny Morton is a good receiver, and you see him up here on top. He just runs a little hook, and they're playing way off him in his zone, so that's a place to go. But you wonder if Herman Moore is really bothered by that foot injury and not getting open, or if for some reason they're just not looking to Herman Moore.
Well, I think the Buccaneers are doubling Herman Moore. 20-3. Less than 10 left now. Sanders gets the carry. Sanders down to about the 16-yard line. Kevin Glover.
Mike Compton there. Look at that cast that he has on that. He has a broken right hand. Playing with a cast on that right hand. You know one thing, if he holds, it has to be his left. It has to be a one-handed hold, and it has to be with his left hand. He cannot hold with that right hand. Listen to this crowd now. They want their defense. This is a heck of a crowd, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
And now we've got a night game going and a crowd. And Tampa Bay very close to going on to the next run.
Here's Reich back to throw it. Moore makes the catch and gets to the 1, maybe the 2. Lynch came up to make the hit.
You're just wondering when they were going to get the ball to Herman Moore. It seems like they've kind of ignored him most of the game. And again, you see he's out here and Rufus Porter out there, and they're just playing zone, so he just has to run against zone. He works against linebackers. You get on one side, that's that old Jerry Rice pattern where you just run against linebackers. You run that crossing pattern, and you go on either side of them or run away from them.
1st and goal at the 1. Bardell. Lions signaling touchdown, but no official yet has signaled it. Yes, touchdown Lions. Bardell.
And what they do is that's when they put in 2 fullbacks. Corey Schlesinger goes in as a fullback. Then they take Tommy Vardell, the fullback, and they make him the tailback. They take Barry Sanders out in this situation. Schlesinger lays. Here comes Tommy Vardell. Touchdown Tommy, just trying to go. The ball has to cross the plane of the end zone, of the goal line, and it did.
Vardell just kept digging and got it into the end zone.
We've been watching Mike Alstott dig all day, and that time it was Tommy Vardell digging.
For the extra point. That would make it 20-10. 9 plays, 82 yards they went. The extra point. Sails through. He hooked it left, but it was still good. Bobby Ross. His team down by 10.
I believe that if you really go out and do exactly what you want to do, you find happiness.
If you can do what you love, that's incredible.
says that one person can't make a difference is wrong.
Try to push until there is no more room to push. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up.
Ace or 3/4?
10 millimeter.
My favorite.
The all-new Mazda truck. Pure truck. Great leases and low APR financing on Mazda B-Series trucks.
Something evil is coming.
Burn it! Send it to hell!
That'll have Springfield talking in tongues.
Hey, your hands, put on me heat!
The Simpsons, tonight at 8, 7 Central.
Our thanks to Captain Thomas and the entire crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for the many spectacular shots that we've had in today's broadcast. And there have been some spectacular shots.
There's one of the field right there, and you can look and see that the middle of the field is really newly sodded.
Yeah.
That was a brand new field last week. And I think it's held up well, but I also think it's a heavy field. This is
well,
not.
You can see all the divots.
Right. This is not what you'd call a fast track.
And Cindy can get off. Anthony is going to bring it out of the end zone. Flags all over the place flying as Rydell Anthony still on his feet. Still running is Anthony outside the 30, about the 33. Good return, but penalty markers down.
Yeah, I bet that's going to be for naught. And we talked about the officiating crew, an all-star crew, not a crew that normally works together.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 25. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Melvin Johnson called for the illegal block.
There's it right there.
Chardonnay. There's a turning leaf on the label. And changing ideas about wine in the bottle.
Now there's important news about relieving the aches and fever from the flu. In new guidelines, what pain reliever do flu experts prefer the most? The one you've trusted all along. The medicine in extra strength Tylenol. Tylenol, the first choice for flu relief.
Tell the truth, Jeff, or it's bye-bye Bunny. Which battery lasts over 15% longer in these camcorders? Duracell or Energizer?
Energizer.
Next time, Pink.
Time flies, you know. Every week a game, boom, playoffs. The closer it gets, the more intense it gets. That's what it's all about, you know. So who do you think gonna get it this year, that wonderful trophy?
After the penalty, Tampa Bay backed up to their own 4-yard line. Warwick Dunn deep. Allstott in front of him, and Dilfer gives to Warwick Dunn. Gets a little bit of room out to about the 8 or 9. Frank Reich is now the Detroit quarterback when they get the ball back. Scott Mitchell, a concussion. There's Reich, who led Maryland under Bobby Ross to the biggest comeback in college football history. 32-point deficit against Miami of Florida. Final score was Maryland 42, Miami 40. So the deficit in both those big comebacks was 32 points.
I'll tell you, and he started off pretty well in this
He
game.
did.
He's thrown 5 passes, and he completed all 5.
2nd and 6. Done again. All right, now let's go down to James Brown for McDonald's game break.
Pat, many folks are asking, is this Dan Marino's last hurrah? Rough outing today against New England as he throws a pass tipped by Larry Wiggum, intercepted by Chris Slade, who returns it to the Miami 30. Only 1 touchdown in the last 3 games for the Dolphins. New England upends them and moves on to meet Pittsburgh next week. Back upstairs to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
The Lions have taken a timeout, so they only have 1 left. And as you remarked before, John, this is a heavy field. As much as it's rained, it's in good shape. But it's not a Barry Sanders track necessarily.
No, and you can see that because, you know, and you can see the players getting the mud out of their cleats. We could see the players changing cleats to get a longer cleat to dig in so they won't slip. So this is a slowed down field, and I think it is advantageous to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buccaneers and the NFL is prohibited. 3rd and 5. Dilfer back to throw it. Pass caught. That's Rob Thomas all the way to the Detroit 40.
I was going to say this is a big 3rd down play for the Buccaneers. Dilfer got back. He had good protection. He found Rob Thomas, hit him for the 1st down, and then more and more and more. Watch him here. You see the good protection where he could step up. He just hits Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas just runs away from a couple guys.
50-yard gain, Dilfer to Thomas.
Who would have thought you're playing against the zone, you have a 3rd down, it's a big 3rd down play, you're trying to get a 1st down, and you end up with a 50-yard reception.
You wind up at the Detroit 40. Allsup's a deep back. Sifting his way, picks up a yard, maybe.
I don't know. You see that Copeland block?
Yeah, Mark Carrier.
You know, we talk about any time a running back is going to get a good long run, a wide receiver is going to make a good block. As far as Copeland trying to do something, you know, that's one thing about this NFC Central, that they have good blocking wide receivers. Maybe that's why they had 4 teams in the playoffs.
Maybe so. Clock running now, just over 5 minutes left. 2nd and 9, 20-10. Tampa Bay leading Detroit. Done to the 37. Brian Westbrook.
Warren Dunn isn't going to stay with his lead. You know, they don't always have Allstott lead for him. Sometimes they have, you know, we saw Dave Moore do it on that play, and they have their tight end, and they get him and they move him around. Then he'll end up in a backfield position where he's like a fullback. So they don't have to beat up Allstott by making him lead. They also use their tight end, and he'll come in motion and then end up in a fullback position, and that's what happened that last time with Dave Moore.
3rd down. Dilfer. Has Moore behind him.
There's Dave Moore right there in the backfield. Oh, there's a clock.
Dilfer upset, obviously.
5 yards. It remains 3rd down.
As he heads over to the sideline. They used too much time off the clock. 4 minutes, 13 seconds left.
I don't think he should have taken a timeout.
I don't either.
I don't know that he took a timeout. In fact, I think they're telling him that was a penalty. It's not a timeout. Trent Dilfer came over like they took a timeout, but it was a 5-yard penalty for too much time.
4 minutes and 14 seconds on the game clock, please.
You're exactly right. They put, 6 seconds back on?
4:14.
4:14, yeah.
4, please.
He's not going to take 4-1-5.
No.
He won't take 4-1-8.
Thank you. 20-10 Tampa Bay. 4 minutes 14 seconds left. Third and about 12 left for the Bucs at the Lion 42.5-yard line. They lead 20-10.
That was a big penalty. 3rd and 7 is a little easier than 3rd and 12.
See if the Lions blitz. They give the ball to Roy Dunn, and Dunn gets to the 35. Doesn't get the first down.
Now do they kick a field goal from here at the 35-yard line? That would be a 52-yard field goal.
I don't think he could get it there. He just barely got 42 yards out of his leg today. Sean Landeta is on to punt.
Then you're punting a 35-yard punt. You better get it inside the 10, because if you don't, you're only going to pick up 15 yards by punting. This is where you need the old coffin corner kick, remember?
Yes. Landeta standing right at midfield.
Every old timer you ever talk to always says, why don't they kick him to coffin corner anymore?
Landeta kicks it, or hope to kick it straight up. And the Bucs get a good bounce, and they're going to down it at the 3.
That's why they don't kick it to coffin corner. You kick it straight up, let it drop, down it on the 3.
And the Lions, with their quarterback Frank Reich, have a long way to go, and 1 timeout left.
Listen, Charlie, there's no way that my client is going to go for something like this. And what is with this paragraph? Listen, Charlie, you're killing me here. You've been through this a million times, Charlie. Yeah.
The Civic sedan from Honda.
No.
What more do you need?
Charlie, I gotta go. Somebody's here.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill's weakness takes center court.
There's only one place to go for the irresistible taste of America's favorite fries. Did somebody say McDonald's? Now come to McDonald's and vote for your favorite NBA All-Star.
Housekeeping. Excuse me. Checking out? We'll change the room.
Holiday Inn hotels are undergoing a $1 billion renovation to make every Holiday Inn as good as the best Holiday Inn.
Oh, you're back. Your toothbrush.
That means we're changing a lot more than the sheets. Holiday Inn, on the way.
The big city is a wonderful place, if you can afford the hotel minibar.
I think I need one of those $8 beers.
King of the Hill, tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
This Fox NFC Wildcard Playoff is brought to you by the Honda Civic. Simplify.
Back at Tampa Bay, Detroit huddled in the end zone, came out to the 4-yard line. Frank Reich, the quarterback. Scott Mitchell suffered a concussion. Reich has replaced him and retreats into the end zone. Fires up the middle. Herman Moore made the catch.
Now Frank Reich not only has to direct this team all the way the length of the field, but also with some urgency, because having 3 minutes left, he needs 2 scores.
They only have 1 timeout left. The pass caught by Boyd. Less than 3 minutes. Following football coverage tonight, the world's funniest, except on the West Coast. That's on Fox tonight.
And this is how you get Barry Sanders out of the game. He only has 65 yards to get 10 points ahead.
Incomplete, dropped by Sloan. The Buccaneers, in the event you might have just joined us, led at one point 20-0 and had things completely under control. Scott Mitchell had the Lions on the move, and he suffered a concussion. Frank Reich replaced him. They kicked a field goal to make it 20-3, and then Reich took him down the field, completing 6 for 6 passes to get him to 20-10. They have 1 timeout left. They have the 2-minute warning left. Right back to throw. The pressure takes him down. Ahanatu.
Chidi Ahanatu, he went right by Larry Tharp. He's been kind of quiet on that pass rush all day, but he just took an outside shoulder and went right by him.
3rd and long. 3rd and 14. They are 2 out of 12 on 3rd down. Right back to throw it. The pass is complete to Boyd, but they don't get the first down. It's 4th down, and the clock continues to run.
I think with a 4th down, they ought to let it go to 2 minutes and go over and talk out, because you're only going to get 1 play here, and that's exactly what Frank Reich did. Go over, talk about it, get the perfect play.
4th down coming as we get the 2-minute warning.
Miller Lite presents.
My name is Ron Leonard, and my friends and I are taking tailgating to a whole new level. We just set up the tub right here in the parking lot, and after that, anything goes. People are always asking us if they can climb in the tub. I don't think that's such a good idea. There's a lot of strange people out there.
Stampede tomorrow night, 2 a.m.
Bill, you forgot the recycling.
Bill's always been one to do his part for the environment. That's why he drives the new LEV Accord from Honda. It meets a 70% lower emission standard than regulations require, without any sacrifice in performance.
Nice play!
Thanks, Bill.
He can control minds.
You read me? Mulder, I'm losing you.
And his next victims are Mulder and Scully.
Mulder!
The X-Files, tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
2 minutes left. Tampa Bay 20, Detroit 10.
I think it could be 1 play left for Detroit.
Could be 4th and about 9 at their own 17.
Tampa Bay's playing awfully loose.
Right back to throw it. Pass is caught by Johnny Morton.
Yep, you could see that one coming. You know, I think when you're protecting for a 1st down, you play a little tighter. The Buccaneer defense went into a prevent, but they didn't prevent the 1st down.
Wright hurries up. The pass is almost picked off by Lynch, who came over to knock it down.
John Lynch is a heck of a football player.
Really
He's played a heck of a game today, both on the run. We remember some of the tackles he made against Barry Sanders, and on the pass. He's like a linebacker when you run the ball, and he's like a defensive back when you throw the ball. He is a tough guy.
1:36 left to play as Detroit breaks the huddle. 2nd and 10. At their own 36. They trail by 10. They have 1 timeout left. Wright comes out of there, chased by Sapp and down by Sapp before he could get the 1st down yardage, but the clock continues to run.
The Lions still do have 1 timeout.
Not going to use it here.
If I were them, I'd try and get in position to get a field goal, kick the field goal, then go for an onside kick.
Saw it work yesterday. 3rd and 5. Right Sanders makes the catch. A minute, less than a minute now. They still have one timeout left.
Yeah, he can throw the ball down now and stop the clock because he has a first down. He ought to do that. He's spending way too much time here. He should have thrown the ball down and stopped the clock.
And the clock's still running. Trying to get everybody set. He took a lot of time off the clock. Reich. Down the middle, incomplete. Knocked away by Hardy Nickerson.
Now see if Reich can complete one of those passes and get it inside the 30, then they can take a shot at the field goal, then an onside kick, and then try and get you 7, because you need 10 points, so you need 2 scores, but it can be a 3 and a 7 as well as a 7 and a 3.
Clock is stopped with 31 seconds left. Today's game being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. As the Lions 2nd and 10. The rush from Ahanotu, and again Reich goes down, and now Bobby Ross says take that timeout. That was Toyoka Jackson who came around the corner. Fresh legs. Here's the rush.
Here's Toyoka Jackson right here, and you're going to see he just gets on Tharp again, and he just runs right by Tharp. Tharp didn't get set up quickly enough, and Jackson just got right to the shoulder and ran right around him. They needed the big rush, and they got it there, and that forced the Lions to take their last time out. And there's Pete Metzlars and shaking his hand. This is his last game. Had a great career, 16 years.
25 seconds left on the clock. Replay producer today, Pete Macheska. Associate Director, Mike Roy. Broadcast Associates, Fran Morrison, Charles McDonald. Technical producer, Bob Mueller. Studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers, Bill Brown. Executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And it looks like we're headed for a Battle of the Bays next Sunday in Green Bay.
Yep, we did the game the last time they played there, Tampa Bay at Green Bay. The Packers beat them there.
They were 5-0 at that time. 3rd and 15. 25 seconds left. No timeouts left for Detroit. Pass complete to Sanders. And Sanders gets to about the 41-yard line. Clock continues to run. Tampa Bay hustling back. Detroit and Reichel just down at 8 seconds left.
No, he can't do that. It was 4th down.
4th down.
He couldn't do that. The game's over.
He did it. It was a mistake. The game's over.
On 1st down, when he could have done it, he didn't do it. And then when on 4th down, he threw the ball down.
So much for the big comebacks. Pete Metzlars, his last game. Barry Sanders. And perhaps this is the last game in this stadium. We showed you the new one being built adjacent.
Here the fireworks going off. There still is 8 seconds left. That was a 4th down, so automatic timeout, change of possession.
Yeah.
So the Buccaneers are going to have to run another play.
All out on the field, the crowd out on the field, horses on the field.
Hey, you got to get your horses off.
Cheerleaders off the field.
Yeah, premature fireworks.
Tony Dungy.
How about his son James? He did it, huh? 3-0. James looked up for the first time all day, and lo and behold, he's 3-0, and the Buccaneers are going to playoffs.
Tampa Bay's first playoff win since December of 1979. When they beat the Eagles 24-17. And now those fireworks are not premature.
What a job Tony Dungy has done, and his staff and this organization of bringing life and vitality back to this team in this city.
And this next play of the game brought to you by Energizer. And this was the one that put it out of range. Allstott.
This is football.
I mean, good blocking, good running, just running right through stuff into the end zone. That's what it's all about. This is what gets you to the next level.
Final score here at Houlihan Stadium is Tampa Bay 20, Detroit 10. Coming up on the NASDAQ postgame report, we'll have highlights and interviews from Tampa. Also our Fox Sports ticker. We'll have up to the second postseason stats. That's all next on the NASDAQ postgame report.
So I guess there's no point in passing him or anything. I would, but as soon as I do, he's gonna make his move. So it's a trap.
We can't solve every hassle you encounter on the road, but we're working on it. Introducing the Volkswagen 2-year no-hassle lease. No-charge schedule maintenance, a super sweet warranty, and roadside assistance. Right now, a Jetta GL is only $199 a month with $21.29 due at lease signing.
He's good. He's really good.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Nate Newton for 1-800-COLLECT.
This is my cousin Marvin. Say hello, Marvin.
Hello.
During the season, Marvin and I like to stay in touch. Everything is cool as long as he dials 1-800-COLLECT. It's real easy for him. And for me, it's 10 cents a minute. Every evening, all week long. Right, Marvin? But sometimes Marvin forgets to dial 1-800-COLLECT. And that's when he needs a little reminder. 1-800-COLLECT, 10 cents a minute. Every evening, all week long.
To prove that Energizer lasts over 30% longer than Duracell in these palm-top computers. Here's Energizer attorney James Madden. Lie, counselor. And it's bedtime for Bunny. Now, do you have any overdue library books?
No comment.
Okay. Which battery lasts over 30% longer in these computers?
Energizer.
Someday, Bunny.
Let's start with the brewmaster for just a moment. The brewmaster is the chef, and that is the key brewmaster role, to understand the blending of his or her ingredients. Not only he or she tastes the beer every day, there's another person who tastes the beer every day, and that is me. The ability to have hands-on brewmasters working with the finest ingredients gives you Budweiser.
Listen up. I have been to the edge and back, and I will tell you what I've learned. What I have learned is you don't need outer crust.
Introducing the Edge Pizza from Pizza Hut, a new pizza with no outer crust, so the toppings go right to the edge.
Mushroom right to the edge. Pepperoni and sausages right to the edge. I have been to the edge and back. Joey.
16 pieces of pure pulchritudinous toppings. Have you been to the edge?
Coming up tonight, prime time on Fox, it'll be The World's Funniest, followed by The Simpsons, King of the Hill, and then, of course, The X-Files, one of our favorites. All of that will be coming up after football everywhere except on the West Coast. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win their second playoff game ever in team history, a 20-10 victory over the Detroit Lions. And folks, Tony Dungy, what a remarkable story. A man who was passed over for many a head coaching job, was not the first choice here, but he has done it in grand fashion, and he's standing by with our Ron Pitts.
All right, first of all, Tony, congratulations. Your first playoff win as a head coach. How does it feel? It feels great, Ron. We've come a long way. I'm so proud of these guys from 0-5 last year to the playoffs and a win. It's fantastic. What was the difference today? You were able to keep Barry Sanders out of it, especially early. Well, our defense did a great job hustling. They had heard about Barry all week, and we knew how tough it was going to be. Our offense did a great job in the first half controlling the ball. Next week, going up to Green Bay, you've played them twice now. You played them hard, but you haven't gotten the W. What do you got to do to beat those guys? We've got to come up with a way to beat them. They're a great team, and playing up there is going to be tough, but our guys have a lot of emotion going right now, and we're going to go up there ready to win. All right, Coach, thank you very much. And you got a son here who was very instrumental this year. Yeah, James is 2-0 holding my court, so we might have to take him to Green Bay. All right, thank you very much, Coach. Good luck next week. Let me go to this guy here, quarterback Trent Dilfer. You guys got off to a great start. That seemed to be the difference for you today.
Defense, offensive line. Comes down to that. We were physical. We were more physical than the Lions today. We knew coming in this game, if we could out-physical the other team, meet their emotion, that we would beat this football team. Our defense stopped Barry Sanders, and our offensive line and kicked butt up front, and that's what it was.
You heard Coach talk about what you have to do next week. Let me hear it from you. What do you got to do to get the win up in Green Bay next week?
You know, we got to find a way to win, beat them, and then winning up there is going to be tough. But I still think the one thing you can't defend against, the one thing you can never predict in this league is being physically tough. If we can go up there and match their physicality, their emotion, we can beat them.
That's right. All right. Good luck next week, guys.
Thank you.
All right, JV, let's go back to you.
All right, Ronnie, thank you very much. Well, certainly the Buccaneers will have an awful lot of confidence going into Green Bay next week. Terry, you talked about the start of the second half being significant for the Bucs.
What Tampa Bay did right off the bat was took Barry Sanders out of the game by scoring on the opening drive of the second half. Automatically down, they had to go to Mitchell. Unfortunately, was injured. As we speak, we do not know the state of his injury. But the fact that Tony Dungy, zone defenses, everybody looking at Barry. Barry had no place to run and had to go to a quarterback that had the big day, and that quarterback was Trent Dilfer.
Barry Sanders only 65 yards on the ground. That Tampa Bay defense, Ronnie talked about him being very quick, Howie.
Yeah, you know, the thing about this defense is, and Ronnie and I have looked at it, is these linebackers fly around. Brooks, and you look at Hardy Nickerson, they do an outstanding job, and they get after the running back. They all start. You can't talk about the balance of this team. That was the difference, I think, between the Detroit Lions and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is the balance. Run to pass. They had a balanced attack. Causes problems for defenses.
All right, folks, we heard a lot about this fast defense. We want to get the thoughts of a guy who certainly ought to know about him, Steve Mariucci, and also his game coming up next week, Minnesota at San Francisco. We'll talk with Mr. Mariucci after this.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight